Hello my dark and beautiful souls, it is I, the City Witch UK, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing this brand new Oracle deck that I recently acquired. I managed to get this as an early release and the official release date is in October. But if you like what you see by the time you get to the end of this video, go ahead and track this down and give it a pre-order and purchase ready to add to your spooky collection. And as we are approaching the spooky season, as you can see, I've got my beautiful Halloween cloth out to embrace that lovely Halloween vibe and of course embrace Samhain as well. So, Memento Mori. So this is a deck that caught my eye and I knew it was going to come out and I thought, you know what, I have to add this to my collection because I do love skulls. I actually collect skulls. I have a lot of like clothing that has skull themed designs on it. I'm even wearing my skull themed ring as well. So Memento Mori is a 36 card pocket deck. It is printed by Red Wheel and FSC Printing and is printed in China. On the back of the box, it says, "Cherish every moment, 36 life-affirming messages to seize the day and live each moment to its fullest, to love those around us more deeply, enjoy our work and daily activities more fully, see beauty in all things and embrace fearlessness as we encounter the unknown. What do you need to focus on to be here now?" So there we go. The box itself is matchbook themed, so you slide it in and out like so. And then this is our lovely little deck. We have a beautiful little candle on the back there and again on the inside of the box. So I'll move those to one side and we can focus on our lovely deck. As you can see, it is gold edged all the way around. And I'll just take this off and show you the cards. So we have first our kind of introduction card. It just has all of the most important information on. So where it was printed, it talks about it being printed in 2025. It tells you the address. It gives you a website, redwheelwiser.com, if anyone is interested in purchasing the deck directly from the publishers. So here we have our introduction card, and I am going to read this to you because it's very interesting. Memento Mori, Latin for remember you will die, is often paired with memento vivere, remember to live. The concept of memento mori dates back to antiquity, probably most famously introduced in Plato's Phaedo, and I think I'm saying that right, which recounts the last moments of Socrates' life as he ponders his imminent death. The principle of remembering death appears throughout history in all countries around the globe, from Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, the Celtic Samhain, the Calaveras of Dia de los Muertos, the artwork of Georgia O'Cuff, to the words of Odin in the Havamal. And I'm probably saying some of those wrong, so I do apologise. Death, after all, is the great equaliser. What happens after death is irrelevant, whether you believe in reincarnation, heaven and hell, or returning to the soil to nourish the earth. Before that final moment, there is the now. There is only this life, the moment that you are living now, and life is merely the passage of time that ends with death. Acknowledging that fact is freeing. It removes fear of the unknown, allows you to embrace life in the here and now, and increases your confidence in what is uniquely you. That you are not a thing in the process of becoming in the future, but you are fully everything now. Memento Mori can communicate fragility of life, defiance of death, rivalry of love, embrace of freedom, and the insignificance of vanity and materialism. Memento Mori is whatever you make of it. What do you need to focus on here and now? The message of Memento Mori is often communicated through symbols and artistic objects. In classical Memento Mori artwork, you will find skulls, hourglasses, clocks, candles, fruit and flowers, all things that symbolise impermanence and the passage of time. Our Memento Mori cards take a different spin and follow one trope only, the skeleton, through mundane moments of the here and now, reminding us to embrace and contemplate the present moment. Sometimes humorous and light-hearted, our skeletons are the perfect purveyors of the message. Neither male nor female, racially invisible, these skeletons are stripped bare to what is the core of all of us. These cards are meant as life-affirming messages to seize the day and live each moment to its fullest, to love those around us more deeply, enjoy our work and daily activities more fully, see beauty in all things and embrace fearlessness as we encounter the unknown. So there we go, guys. So that is a beautiful introduction. So now let's take a look at our cards. So as I say, they're quite dinky. They do fit quite comfortably into my hand. This is the artwork on the back. I don't think these actually have a reversed, but if they did, you know me, I love that my pattern is neutral, so you cannot tell if they're reversed or not. There is no guidebook for this deck, in case anyone is wondering. It is purely intuitive, so you need to tap into those intuitive abilities and your psychic abilities in order to read this deck. And it's very, very simple messages with just a keyword and then the imagery to inspire. So let's look at our cards. So these are in no particular order and they're not numbered or anything, but they do have a lovely border that is also on the front cover of the box. So our first card here is The Universe Goes On. So even if you were to pass away, everything must continue, life must continue. It's a beautiful message. I really like the imagery on that card as well. It's really beautiful. Faith transcends. Oh, look at that. It's got angel wings. That's really pretty. I love the delicate pink roses around that one. The path is lit. Ooh, I get Hecate vibes from that one because of her sacred torches used to guide, and she does become a guide of the underworld around this time of year. So that is really nice to see. Beautiful. Love endures. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Like, it doesn't matter whether you're apart, doesn't matter if one passes and one lives, eventually you will meet again. Love conquers all kind of energy. Love endures. That is beautiful. I love the subtle artwork in that one, the pastels. Very pretty. Oh, this one's sad. Count your blessings. We have a little baby skeleton cuddling a teddy bear. Oh, that's really sweet. I get very gentle energy from that one. Trust your familiar. Look at the cat and the blackbird in the background. The cat looks like it knows stuff. I mean, look at that face. That says it all, doesn't it? Then we've got Make Your Move, and they are playing chess together. That's interesting. Your body is time. It's a reminder that everything comes to an end and your body is decaying around you. From the moment of birth, you are growing, but also technically dying at the same time. And I suppose you could say that this is a reminder of your mortality. Oh, forgive. So we've got a skeleton praying for forgiveness. I like that the wings are a nice pinky feather on this one with the pink roses. It's very pretty. And this, I know it's part of the archway, but it sort of looks like the moon almost. Kind of reminding you there's a new day coming. You know, you have an opportunity to try again. Feed the future. Ooh, look at that snake. Oh, I like that one. I think that one's one of my favourites so far. I like the gold kind of bronze and brown feel with the blacks. That's really pretty. And I think they are lilies, but black lilies. That's really interesting. As this is a new deck, I am having to separate some of the cards, so bear with me, guys. Reflect on your true face. Ooh, that's interesting. That's a deep message, isn't it? So this is like looking in the mirror, isn't it? And recognizing that the skin, your flesh, everything will fade away once you're passing on, you know? The real you is actually, you know, what's inside you, the bones of who you are. Very interesting. Legacy lives on. So I feel like the book in the skeleton's hands is maybe like a family photo album looking back at, you know, past generations, but also like kids and grandkids and things like that, future generations to come, and the legacy that you've left behind and what you've accomplished and what you've given to the next generation. It's very interesting. Tea first. Oh, I know a few people that would adore this card. Like, they cannot do anything, they can't function unless they have their cup of tea first. And also, that is so British. We do love our cups of tea over here. Future past. Ooh, interesting. That message, I would probably read that as you can't make your past your future, and that there are things in your past you need to let go of, because death is always about transition and change. So for me, I'd be thinking you're trying to hold on to something in your past or bring something from your past into your present and solidify it in your future, but actually that could be quite harmful, and maybe you need to take a look in the mirror of why you're doing that and understand your true motivations. Make music. That's nice, isn't it? This could also be seen as like a card about voice and expression, that maybe you don't express yourself enough. Maybe you don't feel like you creatively have an outlet. And this could be the card that tells you to do what makes you happy, to enjoy your hobbies and interests and unapologetically embrace them. Necromancy calls. Ooh, and I get the Santa Morte vibes. I mean, that definitely looks like Saintissima. Look at it. That definitely screams that to me. And I'm loving all the skulls around the cauldron as well. Necromancy calls. Communicate with the dead. Messages from your ancestors. Choice feeds fate, and we've got a skeleton smoking. Yeah, so every choice in life obviously has consequences and has a ripple effect in your life. So if you're choosing to abuse your body, you know, overeat, overindulge, you know, not take enough rest breaks, get your body addicted to substances of all kinds, then you are going to pay the price at a later date, and it is going to impact you negatively. So I do like that. Choice feeds fate. So you always have a choice. No excuses. You are choosing to treat your body this way. You are choosing to consume these things and do these things to yourself. You can just as easily choose not to. So that is a very powerful card, a deep message. Ooh, I like this one. Choose to be present. So in modern day, we are seeing more and more people addicted to social media and their phones. They can't hold normal conversations. They don't give eye contact anymore. Body language is going out the window. And because our brains can't process everything we're seeing on social media, it gives you that small a dopamine hit, pleasure, or sometimes just anger if you're irritated by what you're seeing. And emotionally, we don't have enough time between what we're watching, because they're obviously short things on TikTok and, you know, on Instagram and Facebook, you know, and when you scroll and you see something and then you move on to the next thing, and you're jumping from one emotion and reaction to another, and your body doesn't have time to process between those different emotions. So it can be very overwhelming and very addictive as well. So choose to be present for me is put your phone down, turn off your devices, get outside in nature, connect with humans, give eye contact and engage, and stop letting the world, you know, pass you by, because you're going to miss everything, especially if you have kids. You know, there was a school that I used to live next to, and they had signs up aimed at parents that literally said, get off your damn phones. So that told me parents are picking up their kids and they're running out with like artwork or things they've done in school going, look at this, mum and dad, look at this. And they're going, yeah. And they're not paying attention because they're on the phones. They'd rather be on the phone than engage with their children, which is quite sad. So if schools are having to say that and ban phones and tell parents to get off their phones and engage with their children, it sort of speaks volumes. So this for me is literally all about that. And I think that is one of the most powerful cards in the deck so far, and very true to where we are in modern day. Passion burns bright. Ooh, That's nice. And we've got this heart on fire. Ooh, so passion, focus, determination, drive, a thirst for something or a lust for it. That's a very interesting card. I get a very erratic energy from it as well coming through, fast-paced. So if I pulled this card, I'd be like, something's imminently going to happen, you know? Beautiful. Rewind and reset. So time for rest, take a break, prioritize yourself. And yeah, you need to like spend some time resetting because right now you're in a chaotic state. So take the time out that you need. Let it go. Oh, I'm getting Frozen vibes. Not from the artwork, just the let it go message. I'm hearing the song in my head, but I do like the ballerina in a lovely little tutu and just kind of flexing and enjoying their freedom, the full stretch of their limbs. That is a really pretty card, and subtly you can see, and I hope you can see it, there's little stars at the top here, which also for me can represent hope, because it reminds me of the tarot deck, you know, and the star card is often about hope and having faith and, you know, remembering that everything will be okay. You know, it's a card of renewal and guidance and inner peace and blessings and tranquility. So I get a lot of that from this card as well. We are grains of sand. Ooh. Ooh, this is strange imagery. So we've got the ocean there, and then we've got turtles coming out onto the sand, and the skeletons are obviously, I believe they're walking away from the ocean, but we've got this like darkness to the sand as well. Maybe it's just reminding us that we're small and insignificant in the grand scheme of things, and that's the message of the card. Let me know what you guys think. Hold space. Ooh. Holding space is something people forget, I think, especially in spiritual practices. You need to own and dominate the space you're in and be able to hold that space energetically within the energy framework that you want to be able to manifest what you want. Energy work is so vital to witchcraft and magic, and not a lot of people practice enough of it, in my opinion. And actually, most people say, oh, the first thing you need to learn is protection. No, the first thing you need to learn is how to control and manipulate energy, both within and without. And without that, it doesn't matter if you cast a protection spell, because if you can't direct the energy into the protection spell, it won't work. So energy is where you always start your witchcraft practice once you've done your research, and then you go into directing it into spells, and then I believe that protection should be your second focus. Because you've learned effectively how to direct the energy into what you want, and protection will obviously keep you safe during your journey. And again, don't overprotect, because there's people out there that talk about having a protection candle all the time. You don't need a candle on all the time to protect you. You don't need to be wearing protective jewelry 24/7. And actually there's such a thing as overprotecting, which can block energies from coming in that are beneficial. So balance is key. But for me, hold space here is just reminding you to be in that space, fully acknowledge that space, but also dominate that space and own it, and make sure you're in control. Don't be out of control. Don't be passive. You need to make sure that you're actively working in that space and with that energy. And also the containment there, the symbol of it, that's very interesting and matches quite well with the message. Support. Ah, I like the way we've got one skull balancing on the other for the symbol of support. It's cute. Oh, I love this. This is what's on the front cover of our box, this beautiful image. Rebirth and renewal. And obviously moths and butterflies, they symbolize metamorphosis, transformation. But one thing that I always remember is butterflies, their cocoons actually split for them and they delicately rise out of it, stretch their wings and fly off. Moths have to actually smash their way out of their cocoons, which actually makes them stronger, and actually is why they live longer than butterflies as well. So they actually have to like literally dig their way out of their cocoon, which is almost like rising from the grave, which is very different. So there's either a subtle transformation with the butterfly or an aggressive one with the moth. So there you go. If you didn't know that, guys, there's some information. Embrace your shadow. Ooh. Oh, I love the duality of this. Look at the darkness on that side and then the light on that. That's really interesting. And even the skeleton's like almost charred, like a charcoal colour. Wow. Yeah, embrace your shadow. So don't neglect pieces of yourself. They will come back to haunt you at a later date. Practice a bit of shadow work. And I know a lot of people say that, and not everyone understands what shadow work is, but shadow work could simply just be working on a habit. It could be recognizing that you're denying a part of yourself, ashamed in some way of something. You know, someone might have actually traumatized you in your childhood and it's had a negative impact in your adulthood. So there's a lot of ways to work with your shadow self and, you know, bringing yourself into a state of wholeness and wellness. So take your time with it, step by step, one issue at a time. Don't overdo it. There's plenty of amazing books out there for that if that is something you're interested in. But this for me definitely is about, rather than reject your shadows or deny them or, you know, flat out ignore them, instead embrace them, bring them into the fold and work on the issues one at a time in order to get yourself to a place of wholeness and happiness. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, stunning. You contain multitudes. Ah, look at that rib cage. That is definitely one of my favorite cards. Oh, I love all these little seed pods because they look like little skeletons. They're so cute. And then we have got a death moth here as well. I hope you guys can see that. That is absolutely beautiful. You contain multitudes, so you have the potential for anything. You know, nothing is beyond your reach. You can do anything. You're capable of anything. Don't sell yourself short. That's what that says to me. For everything, a season. And we have a death rabbit, or maybe it's a hare, I'm not sure. The ears are quite long, so it could be a hare, but I'm going to call it a death bunny. So we've got a death bunny here. For everything, a season. So reminding us that everything in seasons and cycles, and that as one season ends, a new season begins, and everything transitions and shifts and changes. Nothing stays the same, and if it does, it's stagnating. It's okay to be in the here and now, and it's okay to do nothing in that moment, but if you spend too long in the nothingness and without progressing, it stagnates. So you have to remember to be able to move forward at the right time. As you sow, reap. Ooh, so if you plant the seeds and if you grow and fertilize the land and put your energy into it, you're going to reap the rewards. So plant your seeds now, cultivate, put in the hard work and effort, and you will see the fruits of your labors. Ooh, rise. I'm not sure if that's a raven or a crow. I think it might be a raven based on the shape of the tail. But I could be wrong. I'm not an expert on birds, but rise, yeah. Rise above your issues, maybe get a new perspective on things, maybe take a moment to survey the land, look at the bigger picture, and the situation as a whole rather than individual parts. Powerful message, that one. Ooh, enter the unknown. This is like entering Hecate's cave a little bit. You know, there's darkness, you don't know what's in there. You're contemplating whether this is a good idea or a bad idea. But it is telling you to enter the unknown. So maybe it's your fear that holds you back. And once you cross that threshold and your eyes adjust, you'll realize there's nothing to be afraid of. You hold the key, and we have a skeleton key. Ooh. So the key is with you, meaning that you're the only one not progressing. You're the one holding you back, and you have the key to success. So you can open the doors. This could also be a sign that any doors to opportunities that were previously closed or locked, or any blockages in your path, are now going to be removed. Carry hope. Oh, look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Look at the colourful umbrella. Oh, that's definitely one of my favourite cards. I like the way the skeleton is sat there enjoying the weather as well, because not a lot of people do that because they don't like the rain. I don't mind the rain. I don't like the wind and rain together, but I'm quite happy walking in the rain. I don't mind it. My dog, however, hates it. So carry hope. So in this, the umbrella is symbolising the hope. You're looking at new horizons, and, you know, the rain will stop eventually. It can't rain all the time. Bonus points for if you know what that's from, guys. Ponder karma. Ooh, and we have a surgeon. That's interesting. What an interesting symbol for that message. Ponder karma. So obviously surgeons fix people. They're healers. They obviously will cut parts out of you, reattach things. They obviously surgically can remove or install and repair. They're highly skilled and trained, but sometimes what they're dealing with is literally the consequences of someone's choices and actions, and that they didn't think something through, such as speeding and then ended up in a car crash, you know, leaving a candle exposed and setting their house on fire, and maybe they're a burn victim. So for me, this is literally, you know, think about what you did and where you went wrong, learn from your lessons, and remember that karma is something that impacts us all, either in this life or the next. Now, karma in the Western society is kind of, you know, it's been bastardized and whitewashed, and I don't tend to use the word karma. I tend to use the word consequences a lot more, and I tend to focus more on, you know, if you make a choice, there is always an opposite and equal reaction and a ripple effect in your life, and that can lead to consequences. Not all consequences are bad. Some of them are literally just small lessons for us to learn from, but sometimes they can be really big, major disasters. So although I don't like the word karma, I can totally resonate with what this is trying to portray. Return. Ooh, the skeleton's in a grave. In a wooden one as well. So they're in a coffin. They're ready to be buried. You know, it's like the end of their life, returning to the earth from whence we came. And accept, and we have the Reaper. Oh, that's beautiful. Looks like the angel of death a little bit. I love the moon and the fields of poppies. That's really pretty, very striking. So accept that the inevitable is coming. Death is neutral. Death is not evil or positive. They simply have a job to do to maintain balance and order. That's what that says to me. I really like this deck. I think this deck is very pretty, very well done. Every card was beautiful and unique. The artwork was absolutely stunning. There was not a single card that I hated. I think they're all absolutely fantastic. So let me know what you guys think, what messages you got, what resonated. Was there a card that particularly, you know, you really was repulsed by it? Because maybe that is your shadow card in this deck. What card were you really drawn to and the message? Because that could be the light card for you at the moment. So yeah, so let me know your thoughts. And once again, that is the back of the deck. I would easily score this a good solid like 8 out of 10. I do feel like it would have been nice for a guidebook. I think to get this deck, I did get it a little bit early, so I think I paid about £20 for it, but I think retail price is going to be about £11. So because I got like an early bird, obviously I paid a bit more for it to get that. However, £11, pocket deck, no guidebook, nice box, little information card. It's all right priced, but I would say I would have liked to have received a little guidebook, maybe with something you could do with each card or symbols to kind of contemplate, you know, like the pink roses, why the pink roses in that one, why the wings, you know, just the extra symbols that they included. What energy is that giving off, and what extra messages can you get from the card? So I think that would have been nice. However, most people don't even read the guidebook. Most people don't use the guidebooks. And if you're skilled and trained and have been doing this a long time, like myself, most of the time you'll pick up a deck, you'll give it a good cleanse, and you'll just work with it immediately. So guidebooks aren't necessary, but I think depending on the price you're paying, it can be helpful to have them, or, you know, at least make you feel like you're getting your money's worth. So yeah, so overall, really liked this deck. 8 out of 10 from me. Definitely can't wait to cleanse this off and use it over this spooky season period. So let me know your thoughts, guys. Leave comments on the video, engage, like, share, all of that jazz. And thank you for watching till the end. I do appreciate your support. I'll see you in my next video. Blessed be.